Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to give you a pro tip on making content. And that is to make sure you turn the camera on when you want to record. What we're doing today is not what I wanted to do today. I wanted to work on the last piece of porch roof, but it's currently about 25 degrees. And it's going to be cold like that for the next few days, which means that I can't get the self-stick membrane down, which means I could not have it waterproof before I go back to work. So instead, we are building an arbor press that is turning into a metal punch. You guys can see that. Alright, this is a two-piece punch system for our permanent holiday lights. Right, works like this. This part will be in here, flipped over, and this part will set in a bracket that I make for the bottom part. And we'll punch our aluminum light channel that we will also custom make. And we need to do that about 1,200 times, about 1,200 holes. So let's get this drilled out and that is not a sharp drill bit for being brand new. Maybe it was just a hard spot. Oh, that's going to be a good enough fit. Good deal. Stuff going everywhere. It is possible that my table saw is not the best workbench. Oh, I like it. Let's move this out of the way for a moment. Ooh, don't want to lose my square there. Good. We'll take a piece of sandpaper and clean that edge up. See there how that's, and I just marked it center the old-fashioned way. I didn't do anything scientific, and I'm pretty much going to do the same thing here to drill and tap for the set screw. It's not going to be anything scientific. My hands are a little cold. I'm dropping stuff. This is a hardened, quote unquote, arbor, but I think that's a very generous term. This is the cheapest arbor press of the size that I could find on Amazon. Starter bit. This is the bit that came with the tap. My chuck is not gripping very well this morning. I'm just going to make sure to get a set screw in that so that you'll notice I am once again using the universal tap wrench here. Saw blade check. Ooh. All this metal is cold, but I really don't want to put gloves on and not feel how hard that's working. I might have should have drilled further through, I don't know. I think we're going to get it. Before we bottom out on the far side of the hole. That's about all we got. Let's see if the set screw here will go in without much fight. I got these left over from the grain mill project, if you happen to follow the channel. I didn't tap straight at all, and that sure feels like it needs a little bit more depth on it. Definitely want this to, I'm not as worried about the set screw being square as I am the actual punch die. That's what really counts, getting it where it's seated up in there properly. I felt like I finished it off. I really got that set screw crooked though. If I was more worried about it, I would take it to some place with a drill press. But we're not that worried about it. That's going to do the trick. All right. We'll say that this is heavier than I anticipated it would be. Kind of definitely makes me happy. All right, Allen wrenches. Really had my hopes up to do that last piece of roof this week, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. I could definitely use a shorter set screw, but that's okay too. That is a poorly fit stock collar. Confess, maybe those are supposed to go in that. And they just put those in there for shipping purposes. It's odd. I don't know. I'm going with it. I figure these are supposed to be the wear blocks. So the purpose of this, like I said, we're going to custom bend some aluminum channel on our trim brake that will hold all of the individually addressable pixel LEDs. I think that works. A little bit of lube on it there. Perfect. Now I just got to figure how I'm going to do that. It's got to fit something like that. And it's got to hit spot on every time. Alright guys, I think I have the plan. We got a 11/16 bit. I think that will be a size. I think it'll be the winner. Oh yeah, that's going to do the trick. Because I think if I drill that all the way through my board, I think I could probably just about press that in there. It'll make me a tool to thread that. Alright, so I feel like that's going to work. Now we need to do some planning. Okay, so what we want here is something that is repeatable. If I have to make a few hundred feet of channel, and all of that gets made here, and there's there will be a very specific bend order, and then a specific way that it gets punched. I've just cut me a ruler here out of a piece of old tape measure that is no longer good. So let's see, we got half and a half is 1, 3/4 and 3/4 is 1 1/2. So that's 2 1/2 and 1 1/2 to get to 4, right? 3, yeah. So the basic idea is that, and it's kind of hard to show you. So what I'm doing here is making all my marks. I have some stops that I can set for my bend. 1.5. 3/4 and a half. Use this as a straight edge here. And get all my marks very, very good. Once I have everything set, this is fairly quick. The setup is what takes the time, but the setup is what makes everything go well. Because I'll actually end up using the trim brake and the stops to cut my pieces. Because you can run it into the stop, clamp it down, and then you're in quite good shape. Alright, so the first has to be right there. Now let's see. Size. I've just put some machinist stops on these guide rods back here, and I can adjust them to whatever I need. Find the right element here. There we go. So that'll come up, touch that, and I'll set the stop. Get you guys a look here. All right, let's take a peek. Can you see all of that down in there? Kind of a dark spot, but it'll make sense in the end. Promise. Okay. And then the next stop will be at that bend. No, it will not, because it is further out than that. Alright, well, that works. That just means I got a little bit of work left, and I'll just have to mark it. I don't think I can move that stop any more than it is. Not without taking that all the way apart, which I have to confess is tempting, because it sure would be handy to just be able to bump that up to a stop and call it good. Let's see, I think that might be the right side. These just have a little retention nut on. That's not the right size. Nothing's ever the right size when you're looking for it. rounding it off. You can never find the thing you need when you look. Isn't that the way it goes? Isn't that the way it goes? I know what'll work. Hold on a second. The universal tapping key. It'll fit down in there. I would say, I don't know why that's so tight, but I put it on there, and that's probably why it's so tight. Alright, we're not doing that. We're going to set this stop down here, because the cuts are the most important part. If I can mark it off and get what I need, you know. Shadow line is not being my friend. There we go. I had this most recently set up for, what was I bending? Well, some kind of roof flashing. And I took a marker and I got some marks there that'll help me go back to it whenever I need to. Now, because I'm just building a test template, I'm just going to cut this piece by hand, because I'll cut my strip, I will bend half of it, I'll punch the holes and then bend the other half. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because that will give me some rigidity, and it will give me a stop on it. Alright, I'm going to bend that to 90, and I'm not caring which color ends up out when I test it. Now, this gap is 3/4, so if I put that in there snug and I bend that up, that makes my channel, but you can see it come up a hair short, but that's really not bad. Now, this is where the wires will run, and this is where the holes have to exist and be punched. So we need to mark that center line. Which is going to be 3/8 of an inch. And the accuracy here, while important, we're not making a machined part, so it won't matter if I'm off just a little. And what I'm doing here is cutting a nip, just a little split there, right on that line, because my intent is to put this up against my jig, and then I'll know that this is the center line that it gets punched on. There's not a lot of room for error, but I think it's going to work all right. I think. I do. I need something to scribe that so that I can see that center mark. See, by nipping that, it gives me a positive stop there to go to. Okay, now we can go back and we can build our punch jig, knowing that that's the center. Now I know what else I'm going to do while I'm right here, because these holes are going to be 2 3/4 inches on center. 1, 2, 3/4. 1, 2, and 3/4. All right. Don't know if you guys can see those scribe marks. All right. Back to the punch press. See if my joiner will start up here and fold. Better make sure that's running square. It tends to get out of whack. I'm grabbing the square. Oh yeah, that's good. Imagine that being pressed right on there. I know that my punch die has to be there, and that my pin stop for spacing has to be on that mark. It's going to work out just fine. That. Give us some straight edge across there. Towards handy. Okay. So you can see how that's going to work, right? You can screw in there. Tempted to try to press it in there. I think I might just see about pressing, because I don't have a tool to install it with. temporarily remove our die here. I forget that's the first one over here. I'm not complaining because it's a good fit and that's what I wanted. Now, let's see if that'll press in. Butterfingers and not the candy bar. I like it. Basically flush to the bottom. And I might put a couple screws in there to act as a push-out stop. A couple of flat hand-headed screws, you know. Give me that positive engagement. All right, let me bring you around here, kind of show you how this is going to work. All right, so Arbor press, right? This jig right there, trim piece goes in. Of course, this is all going to get screwed down, and then ka-chunk, right? Just like so. I think it's at least a reasonable plan. Some random work height. That's too far up. That looks pretty good. Perfect. That's going to be perfect. That's not really thick enough to be my workstation. I'm going to have to find me a chunk of 2x12 or something. Alright, we've done some test holes, and I'll take you guys back over and show you what we got going on here in a minute. Now we're going to see about bending this. So that's going to bend that way. So this needs to bend this way. So we should be able to set our 3/4 mark, clamp it, hold it, and then set that on the 3/4 mark and hold it. Light channel. Now the holes won't be that close together. This is just, we're simply running a test piece. But I think, let's make one. Let's actually make one. These will be 10-foot sections that we're doing. Alright, so I better mark that because it, not being 10 foot long, it doesn't hit both stops. 4 inches. Okay, up to now, everything we've done has been just proof of concept. So, put that in. Get it to our marks right there. Since it's aluminum, we'll score it. Alright, now we got a nice parallel 4-inch piece. So now we have to come in. Let's see. 3/4 and 1/4 is 1/4 inches. So 1/4 inches from each side. These are the only marks we got to make. 1/4. 1/4. Okay. Now we set this like so. Just hit those marks. Bring it up to 90. Okay. And then lighten that up. Okay. Fold it like that. Alright, first 2 folds. Alright. Now you can see that that goes in right there, right? Okay. The first hole. Right. I'm going to end up making about 200 plus feet of this trim. Okay, alright, holes are punched. You guys can see that. Let's go back to the trim brake. Okay, so now we come back, we've got our marks right there. Clamp it in, fold it to 90. This is always a little bit tricky because you've got that other fold there, but sometimes take a little hand forming. But light channel. Let's go get a piece of some lights and we'll see how they look. I've kind of been testing a little here. I don't need the whole shebang that I've got hooked up. That's for sure. I'll just take this first section of lights. There's 2 sections there. Nope, just one. Alright, so these lights poke into these holes, and I'm not going to get crazy here and actually secure them. So these are called individually addressable LEDs. These will actually, the housings will be softer when it's warmer and not so cold, right? So lights lay in the channel. They actually have a lip that clips in. All right. We'll see if we can turn them bad boys on and get y'all a little preview here of what's going to go down. There we go. There's just in a test mode. That's what they're going to look like. And I think that channel is going to work good.